Greetings, 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 beautiful people. Good evening. I am finally here to do this live. I know it is super late. I was going to do the live earlier, and then Mama Namaste, who is my spiritual mama, started a class in one of her private groups, and so I put everything on hold because I wanted to make sure that I did not miss her class. And so class is over. I've taken my notes. I have sat with some things and still need to internalize some things, but I'm here and I am ready to go. So if you are hopping in, or as you are hopping in, hop in and say hi. Let me know who you are. Let me know where you are watching from. It's always amazing to be able to meet new people on the platforms. And if I have interacted with you before, still hop in and say hi, because I love interacting with my people. Also, if you're hopping in, please please throw some hearts, and please share this video. One, because I like to be seen, and two, because I know with 100% certainty, without a shadow of a doubt, that what I have to share with you this evening is definitely something that all women need to hear, that all women need to experience, regardless of where you are with regard to your body goals. So if you don't know who I am, and this is your first time watching me, I am a Tandra Vinchale. I am the keeper of the mermaid's wisdom. I am a feminine wellness coach and practitioner. Good evening, beautiful. And I am a naturopathic Reiki master teacher. And I support women and show you how to enhance your life through movement, meditation, and magic. So that is who I am. That is what I do. Hey, Sarah. Hey, Stephanie. And so again, thank you all so very much for joining me today. So the title is in the video. If you're watching this on Facebook, if you're watching this on Instagram, you won't be able to see the title. But the title of this is, are you actually inspired to do something, or are you inspired to continue to lie to yourself? And so this broadcast is based on and inspired by last night's Super Bowl performance, the halftime performance by J-Lo and Shakira. And so before I get into that, I do want to do a little bit of housekeeping, because I always want to make sure that the people who are in the room when I am speaking and receiving what it is that I have to say are the people who desire to be here, the people who want to be here, and the people who are going to be willing to receive what it is that I have. And so I'm going to do a little bit of housekeeping. So, hey, Keisha, how are you? Thank you for joining me. Okay, so let's start with number one, housekeeping number one. Good evening, Eva. I am a Tandra Vinchale. I am the keeper of the mermaid's wisdom, and I am also the creator of, hey, Rosalind, the Curves Movement and Nourishment coaching program for women, which I put together to support women in learning how to love our bodies and work with our bodies in every stage of our transition, regardless of what your body goals are. And so because I am the creator of that program and I am the keeper of the mermaid's wisdom, I'm going to be promoting that program often during this broadcast. And so if you are triggered in any way by business owners promoting their products and services, their goods, products and services on these videos that we do for you all for free. Hey, Chantel. If you're triggered in any way by that, by business owners promoting their businesses, go ahead and hop off of this video now, because this video is definitely not going to be for you. Okay. Housekeeping number two. Now, I have been in the wellness industry, fitness, health, and wellness industry for over 12 years now. And so I understand how inflammatory these kinds of talks and these kinds of topics can be, especially for women. As a matter of fact, a few years ago, I had written an article about Teyana Taylor. It actually wasn't even about Teyana Taylor, but it was after she had had her baby, and it was about her snapback, and everybody was so excited. And I wrote an article called "Dear Women, this is why you don't need to want a body like Teyana Taylor." And that article actually went viral. If you find it on LinkedIn, I wrote it on LinkedIn, and it has almost 500,000 views. It was plagiarized on multiple platforms. I had to go to multiple platforms. But it was through the writing of that article that I really found out how inflammatory these types of topics can be. I was called all kinds of names. I was threatened in my inbox. I received nasty emails. I received nasty DMs. And so I understand how inflammatory these kinds of things can be. Now, with that being said, I do want to make it extremely clear that on this piece of social media real estate, whether you're watching this on Facebook or Instagram or on YouTube or on Twitter, wherever I decide to post this, on these pieces of real estate, where the social media platforms have allowed me to attach my name, whether it's my personal name or my business name, to a particular profile, I am the expert. And I say this because I understand that we live in a day and a time where it is extremely easy to get a certification that calls you a health coach or that calls you a wellness coach. It is really, really easy. There are $25 wellness coach certifications where you can take a 30-minute class, and they will allow you to call yourself a wellness coach. And so I understand that there are all kinds of experts and all kinds of coaches in all different areas. And so as a result of that, and because I understand how inflammatory these types of topics can be, it is important that you understand that on this piece of real estate, I am the expert. And so before you continue watching this video, you need to ask yourself, oh, Lord, this is going to be my first time actually saying this, but I received this today. And when I received it, it was not a suggestion, it was a command. Hey, Destiny. And so because it was a command and I am an obedient child, then I have to flow with this. But I say this because not only am I an expert by virtue of my education and all of those things, if you want to see, that kind of cerebral type education that qualifies me to talk about this, you can go to my website at www.themermaidswisdom.com/curves, scroll down to the bottom, and there's a section that says what qualifies me to coach you. And in there you can find, if you're into degrees and certifications and trainings and things of that nature, you can find a whole list of those. So not only do I have permission to occupy that space because of my dossier, I have permission and a responsibility to occupy that space from an energetic space that you may or may not even have access to. And so before you continue watching this video, I want you to ask yourself, am I willing to receive what Atandra Vinchelle has to say with regard to this topic as truth? And if your answer is yes, then great. Hey, how are you? Welcome. If your answer is no, or I'm not sure, then I'm going to encourage you to do one of two things. Either log off of this broadcast right now, or share this broadcast and then open up a conversation on your own page. Because as the expert on this piece of real estate in social media land, I will not argue, I will not debate. And so if I say something that goes against what you're used to hearing, if I say something that you don't agree with, I'm not going to have a conversation with you about what you don't agree with. I don't debate, I delete. Like it's really that simple, because in this space on social media land, I get to be the expert because I am the expert here on my profile. Okay. So that's housekeeping number 2. Number 3, I am not here to discuss the morality of last night's halftime performance. So this is not a discussion about whether or not it was moral. This is not a feminism discussion. This is not a discussion on objectification of the woman's body and, oh, they should have had clothes on and this and this and this and this and this. If you're looking for that, this is not going to be it. You probably want to hop off now. And at the same time, I will also tell you that I actually enjoyed the show. I loved the show. I think Jennifer Lopez and Shakira are absolutely gorgeous, absolutely beautiful, and amazingly talented. And I absolutely enjoyed the show. And so if that triggers you in any way, then go ahead and hop off now. Okay? Last 2 items. This is not a J-Lo and Shakira bashing session. Okay. Like I said, I love J-Lo. I love Shakira. I think they're beautiful. I think they're talented. And so if you're looking for that, this is not going to be that. And this is also not going to be a bashing of rich people. I like rich people. I enjoy rich people. I enjoy doing rich people things. I enjoy being around rich people. And so this is not going to be one of those spaces where I'm going to bash them. Hey there, Brenda, where I'm going to bash them for the amount of money they have or the resources that they have access to. So if you're looking for that, you're probably gonna want to hop off now. Like if you're triggered by those things in any way, you're gonna want to go ahead and hop off now. Okay. So now that we've gotten the housekeeping out of the way, hey, how are you? If you're still here, say hi, like and share, like and share, like and share. Sharing is caring, and I love the hearts because it lets me know that what I'm saying is resonating with you. Okay. So I want to talk about a few things. And again, the premise of this is, are you truly inspired to do something, or are you truly inspired to continue to lie to yourself? And I'm saying this because this is not the first time this type of thing has happened. So after last night's halftime show, Jennifer Lopez is 50 years old. Shakira is, thank you, Stephanie, is 43 years old. Hey, how are you, beautiful sister Muse? And so they have amazing bodies, and they were doing absolutely amazing things on that show yesterday. And so what ended up happening, and I watched this, is all of a sudden women on social media are like, oh my God, I need to get my J-Lo on. Oh my God, I need to get my Shakira on. Oh no, there's no excuses. Oh, I need to get my body together. Oh, and I started seeing all kinds of things. And because I'm in this space and this is what I do, I am always looking at and looking for those kinds of things. I'm a wellness professional. So I'm not just it's not just this cute little thing because I got some network marketing certification. I am actually a wellness professional. And so I watch the behaviors, especially with regard to women, thank you, Sarah, when it comes to fitness, health, wellness, nutrition, body image, and things of that nature. I really watch that. And so what I'm seeing is a lot of, I'm starting my gym membership tomorrow. I saw one lady that posted and she was like, I'm about to go on a diet and I'm about to go vegan just because of, and it was the same thing that I saw happen after Teyana Taylor, appeared in that music video, after she danced in that music video, after she had her baby, so soon after having her baby, and her body was just snapped back like that. And that was one of the things that had prompted me to write that article that had gone viral. And while it's all fine and dandy to look at these women and to think that you are inspired, you really, really, really have to ask yourself, am I really inspired to actually do something? Or am I inspired to continue to lie to myself? If we go back a few years ago, after Teyana Taylor had done her video after having her baby, hey, Crystal, I see you came from Instagram over to Facebook. And it was everybody was like, oh my God, I want Teyana Taylor's body. Okay. I watched this. Now let me go back a few steps. So in addition to being a wellness professional, my training in university is as a research scientist. I am a trained research scientist. And so oftentimes that's kind of a part of my brain that doesn't always turn off, right? Like it doesn't always turn off. And so after I had gotten the backlash from writing that article, I actually went and I did some qualitative/quantitative research. And what I found was between Houston, Dallas, Fort Worth, San Antonio, and Austin, there were over 100 programs that were developed by personal trainers and other fitness professionals that were based around the Teyana Taylor body. Okay. So she came out with this video, personal trainer saw it. And, I'm a personal trainer as well. I've got that training as well. And so we all saw it. And so everybody jumped on it because that's what the buzz was. And that's what women were talking about. And that's the body that women wanted. And so there were over 100 programs, 6-week challenges, 3-month programs, 4-week challenges that were designed around the Teyana Taylor body. Okay. Now, in each of these programs, there were the number of women in these programs varied. Okay. And so it was anywhere from 10 women per program to upwards of 50, 60, 70. Some programs had over 100 women in their program. Some of them were in person, some of them were online. Now, remember, I told you all I'm a research scientist, so I know how to get in and dig and find what the numbers that I'm looking for, right? And so I watched a lot of these programs and I documented the results that personal trainers shared from a lot of these programs. And what I can tell you with certainty is that of all the programs that I watched, over 91% of the women who enrolled in those programs, 91% of the women never even made it halfway through the program. How do I know this? Because personal trainers stopped posting before and after pictures. They stopped posting videos. They stopped posting testimonials. And when you would watch their videos, you would see, like the ones that were in person, the first day of the training camp, there may have been 100 women outside. By the last day of the training camp, there may have been 5 or 6 women that were left in that camp. Okay. 91%, over 91% of the women who enrolled in those programs never even made it halfway through. Never even made it halfway through. Why is that? Well, that is because there is a difference between you being inspired by what you see to actually take what it is that you have in your life, the resources and the time and the energy that are in the ecology of your lifestyle, and do the absolute best that you can with what you have. And this idea that, oh, I'm going to look at you and say, oh, I want that body. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue lying to myself, because what I know is that I am not willing to do what they did to have what it is that they have. I'm going to let you sit with that for a few seconds. And I'm going to repeat this. There is a difference between seeing something and being inspired to take what you have, the time, the energy, and the resources, to take what you have and do the absolute best you can with what you have, and looking at that and lying to yourself because you know you are not willing to do what they did to get what it is that they have. And so what I'm going to do tonight, this evening, is I'm going to share with you 5 things. 5 things that you need to do if you are really inspired by what you have seen. Whether that's in last night's halftime show, whether that's somebody that you saw on Instagram or somebody that you saw on television. There are 5 things that you need to do before you can really, really know whether or not you're ready to move forward. Okay? So if you are ready for me to share those 5 things with you, go ahead and throw up some hearts in the room. I always want to make sure that I'm talking to the right people. I always want to make sure that the information that I'm sharing is the information that you all want or that you find valuable, and that you're actually going to use. So let me see some hearts in the room and I'll wait. I know the social media platforms oftentimes have a little bit of a lag. So, okay, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I am seeing some hearts. Thank you, thank you, thank you so very much. And again, if you have not shared this broadcast, please share this broadcast because I know that it's going to be absolutely necessary and transformative for a lot of women. So here are the 5 things that you need to do. Number 1, you need to properly set the intention for why you want your body to look a certain way. Now, notice I said properly set the intention. Why am I saying properly? Why did I say properly set the intention? Thank you, Crystal. Instead of just saying, set your intention. Here's why. Oftentimes when I talk to women or when I watch women post on social media and they're posting the reason why they have certain goals, one of the main reasons that I hear and that I see posted often is so I can feel good about my body, so I can feel good about myself. Right? So why do you want to have this body? Because I just want to feel good about my body. So let me ask you, sis, what you're telling me is that you can't feel good about your body, i.e. you can't feel good about yourself without a 6-pack. So what you're telling me is that you can't feel good in your body without being less than 15% body fat. So what you're telling me is that you can't feel good in your body and about your body, which essentially partially means that you can't feel good about yourself unless you get your waist down to a 24-inch waist. And if that actually really and truly is the case, then sis, your issue is not with your body weight. Your issue is with something much deeper. It's with something much deeper than the fact that you don't have a 6-pack. Because a 6-pack should not be a requirement for you to love the body that you are in. I'm going to tell you all, give you all some transparency about me and just my previous relationships with my body. So when I was younger, I have always been shapely, but I used to be this big. Okay. I've always been shapely, which means I've always had hips. I've always had butt. My breasts were perky, like super duper duper perky when I was younger. I mean, like, listen, I'm going to use the word titties because I like the word titties. My titties were in my chin. Okay. And I was this big. And I was always told that I was too skinny. I was too skinny. I was too skinny. I was too skinny. Right. So I never really enjoyed my body at that age. And so I got married young and started having children young. And I put on a little weight, but not a whole lot. Right. And there were always, I always internalized what other people told me about my body, what my body was supposed to look like. Hey, Deanna, how are you? Beautiful. What my body was supposed to look like. So I never really enjoyed that. And so when I got older, I started doing things like I would eat baked potatoes in the morning and I would drink like 3 cans of Ensure. So I was doing all of these different things to try to gain weight, right? Because I never felt good, never felt good, never felt good. Fast forward and I got into bodybuilding. Okay. I became a bodybuilder. And I had this idea. I always had this idea of how I wanted my body to look, right? And if you look at the pictures from my first competition, I was smaller. I don't think I would ever want to be that small again. But the problem was that my competition body, let me say this. For me, my competition body wasn't as short-lived as it is for most women who compete in that sport. But in the grand scheme of my life experience, it was short-lived. And the reality is I never actually enjoyed my body in any of the phases moving into that, what I thought was that perfect body. I judged myself. And so when I got out of competition and I started just wanting to work out for me, if that was a thing, or that was a thing for me at one point, I was just doing it for me, then I would look at pictures of my transition while I was in that body, and I would say, oh, my belly is too fat. Oh, there's some cellulite there. Oh, there's this. Oh, there's that. Oh, there's this. Oh, there's that. And then when I stopped working out and I gained more weight, I would go back and I would look at those pictures and I would be like, wow, my belly was flat. Wow, I was shapely. But at the time that I was in it, that I was working through that, I did not enjoy that because I had convinced myself that I was not allowed to like or love the body that I was in while I was on my way to transition to the body that I thought that I wanted. I know that was a lot. So let me know if you're with me. I know that was a lot, but I want to make sure that you understand this. I did not enjoy the different bodies that I had the opportunity to live in while I was in transition to the body that I thought that I wanted. And as a result of that, there was a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety, and all of these different kinds of just mental and emotional things that I put myself through because I had convinced myself that I could not and should not love the body that I was in while I was transitioning to the body that I thought that I wanted. Does that make sense? And so when I say that it is important for you to properly set your intention, when you say things like, well, the reason why I want this body is so I can feel good about my body, then what you are saying is that you are not worthy of love until you reach whatever this state of perfection is that you have made up in your own mind. And that, my love, is an issue that is much deeper than the amount of body fat that you have. And so in my program, in Curves, I am actually going to be teaching the women that are working with me exactly how to properly set an intention for your body, whether you want to lose weight, whether you want to gain weight, whether you desire to maintain the weight that you are in. I'm going to teach them how to properly set an intention for your body that allows you to love the body that you are in, while you maneuver and transition to the body that you believe that you want. And we're also going to do some teaching on whether or not the body you think you want is actually the body that you're supposed to have. Oh, you're welcome, Tanisha. Thank you, beautiful. So we're going to do some talks on that. Okay. So that's going to be in Curves, www.themermaidswisdom.com/curves. Plug. So that's number one. Number two, the second thing that you need to do when you believe that you are inspired by something that you have seen or by the body of a woman that you have seen. The second thing that you need to do is you need to determine and learn about your body type. Now, there are several different schools of thought with regard to body types. Some say that there's only 2, some say that there's 3, some say that there's 5, some say that it's 8. Oh, thank you, beautiful. Some say that it's 8, so on and so on. So I'm going to tell you the system that I use, and I'm going to tell you why I choose that system over the other. Okay. This is my personal preference. Okay. So when I say you need to determine and learn about your specific body type, okay, I use the 3 forms. So the ectomorph, the mesomorph, and the endomorph. Now, I discuss those, exactly what those are, a lot deeper and in more detail in my Curves program. But I will tell you the reason why it's important that you know what your body type is, that you learn what your body type is, and that you understand what your body type is. Here's the thing. A lot of times when you hear that word, those words, ectomorph, mesomorph, endomorph, they give a very surface level definition and reasoning behind it. But here's the thing. That body type, I use that kind of body typing because it is directly tied on a physiological level, because it is based on the types of tissues that were predominant in your formation while you were being formed in your mother's womb. Now, why are these tissues important? Why are these tissues important? These tissues are important, and these types are important because not only do they determine how your body processes carbohydrates, but they also determine how your body processes stress. And that's the part that they don't talk about when you read the little articles on the internet. There are neurological nuances in the different body types based on those tissues. And these nuances inform upon how you need to approach things like sleep, rest, restoration, and stress management. Now, this is something that I'm going to teach in Curves, in that program. I'm going to teach specifically to each of those body types. And I'm going to teach specifically what you need to consider with regard, how you need to approach sleep, how you need to approach rest, restoration, stress management, because this also has to do with how you process your emotions on a physiological level. And so when you think about stress and rest and restoration and relaxation and how you move through life, a lot of that is informed upon by your physiology. And so the way that you approach it, for many of us, on some level is partially based on that physiology. And so when you understand those kinds of things, that also allows you to delve deeper into your function. And it allows you to determine the type of body that is optimal and is possible for you. Because I'm going to go ahead and bust some bubbles right now. This is probably going to hurt some feelings. Okay. Most of you who have this body in your mind that you think you want and are listening to a trainer or a nutritionist or a fitness guru who is telling you that you can have any body that you want, I'm going to tell you right now, no, you can't. No, you can't. You can't have any body that you want. Did I hurt some feelings? Did I make somebody mad? I make you upset? I sorry, not sorry. No, you can't. You cannot have any body that you want. Literally. Like you cannot have any body that you want, and you cannot have any body that you want. What you can have is the body that is absolutely optimal What you can have what you can have is the body that is absolutely optimal for the function that is yours. That is what you can have. I'm going to say that again. What you can have, sis, is the body that is absolutely optimal for the function that you have. Which is why our body types change over time. If you look at Jennifer Lopez, okay, and only if you have the eyes to see, if you look at Jennifer Lopez, there is and it's so slight that if you're not paying attention, you'll miss it. If you look at her hips before she had children, and I'm not talking about how wide they are, okay? Because Jennifer Lopez has always been, she's always been very shapely, okay? But if you look at her hips after she had children, there's a nuance, there is a slight change in the way that they're turned, in the way that they're shaped, in the way that they open, and it's not obvious if you don't have the eyes to see. But there is a slight change in her hips because after she had children, after she had her daughter, your body begins to change function. And so once again, I will say this again, you cannot have any body that you want. And anybody who is telling you that is lying to you. Now, I've been a personal trainer for a minute. And I've been in this business for a minute. And I have taken several personal training marketing programs. And so I know what they say to you. Because we're taught to speak to you in a certain language. Right? We're taught to speak to you in a certain language. And so I know what you're hearing because I know what they're trained to tell you. But I'm going to say it one more time. You cannot have any body that you want. What you can have is the body that is optimal for the function that you have. Okay, so that's number 2. Number 3, you need to ask yourself and be 100% completely honest with yourself. What am I willing to do? When I wrote that article about how I did not agree with women going after the Teyana Taylor body, one of the main points of focus in that article was the fact that most women who see these things are not willing to do what the women who have those bodies do. And I'm not talking about surgery. I'm not talking about all of these different things, right? And I want to go ahead and dead that conversation right now because I know it's coming up, right? This idea that because they have money, they can have surgeries and they can Most of these women that you all are talking about with regard to the quote unquote surgeries and nips and tucks that they have had a certain kind of body before they had the money to do all of these different things. And guess what? You still weren't willing to do what they were doing then when they didn't have that money. Because the body that they had when they were broke, a lot of y'all still aren't willing to do what they did to have the bodies that they have while they were broke, while they were on their way to manifesting a lifestyle that allowed them access to these other resources that they now had access to. But before they could have access to that, there were things that they had to do to qualify, to look a certain way, to be in that space, to even have access to that. So we're not going to go there. What is it that you are willing to do? I had a woman that I was working with once when I was working at a gym, and it was time for her to renew her contract. And she came to me and said, because, working at a gym, a lot of the members knew that trainers were paid on commission. And so her desire all the time was, oh, I want a booty like yours. I want my butt to look like yours. I want my waistline to look like yours. That's what she wanted. It was time for her to renew her contract. And we were sitting there with the paperwork, and she looks at me and she goes, I'll sign the paperwork if you tell me I don't have to run. Ma'am. Because at that time, to have the body that I had, I was also running. She was like, I'll sign the contract if you tell me that I don't have to run. Ma'am. So you're going to tell me that you want what I have, and then you're going to sit here in my face and tell me that you're not willing to do what it is that I do to have what it is that I have. Then why are you here? So you need to ask yourself, what is it that I am willing to do? Am I willing to wake up earlier? Am I willing to go to bed later? Am I willing to change? Do I want to change how I'm eating? Is that something that I want to do? Is that something that I'm willing to do? Am I willing to work out? Am I willing to work out in the gym? No. Okay, I'm not willing to work out in the gym. Okay, am I willing to go walking? Am I willing? You need to sit down and ask yourself, honestly and truly, what exactly is it that I am willing to do? Because regardless of what you saw in that halftime show, and regardless of how inspired you think you are, right? None of that matters if you have not determined what it is that you are willing to do to shift the current state that you are in. So that's number 3. Okay. Number 4, what are you able to do? Based on the current ecology of your lifestyle, what are you able to do? I cannot tell you how many times I get an inbox from women. I do consultations with women, and the idea is I'm going to hit the gym 8 days out of 7, and I'm going to go vegan, and I'm going to. And I'm like, oh, okay. You're going to go to the gym 8 days out of 7? You're going to do that? What's your work schedule? Oh, I work 5 a.m. And because I need the overtime, sometimes I'll work from 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. Oh, okay. The current ecology of your lifestyle, okay, and your current work schedule has you working from 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. because you're getting the overtime. And yet you're trying to convince me that you're going to be in the gym 7 days a week. How? How, Sway? How are you going to do that? How? I'm going to run. Do you have tennis shoes? No. How? How? You're going to run barefoot? You're going to go out and run barefoot? I'm going to go vegan. Oh, okay. How many times a week do you get groceries? Oh, I only go to the grocery store once every 2 weeks because of my. But you're gonna go vegan. How? How is that gonna work? How is that gonna work in a way that's sustainable? Because here's the thing that you have to understand, okay? You may see something and you may be inspired by something. You may think that you're being inspired by something. And you may decide that there's a set of decisions that you want to make about how you're going to change your life. And that's awesome. Now, at the same time, what you have to understand is while you are in your journal, in your beautiful journal, writing these things down, writing these affirmations, and you're posting them on Facebook, and you're making these memes, and you're pulling memes down from Google, and you're talking about, I'm going to get my J-Lo body on it, you have to recognize that you are still contending with the lifestyle that you created before you decided that you were going to make these decisions. And so what happens a lot of times, and I have seen this happen over and over and over and over again, women will make these decisions, you will make these decisions, and you will say, oh, I'm going to the gym 7 days a week, and but you have this work schedule where you're working 10 hours a day, and then you also have 3 children that you pick up from school, and 2 of your children are in dance, and 1 of your children is a football player, and you're also the football mom, and you're also the dance mom, and you're also on the board of this at your job, and you're also on the board of this at your church, and you're still working 12-hour days, and you don't have any vacation. And so what happens is you create or try to take this decision that you've made and put it on top of this lifestyle that's not ecological for this decision that you've made, and then you burn yourself out. And then when you burn yourself out, it could take 3 months, 6 months, a year, 2 years for you to recover from that. Am I making sense? Throw up some hearts if I'm making sense. Let me know. Let me hear you. Because I like to be interactive. So I like to talk to you, and I want you to talk to me, and I want us to talk to each other. So let me know if I'm making sense. Yes, yes. Yes, yes. Okay. Beautiful. And so asking myself, what am I able to do given the ecology of the current lifestyle that I have already created for myself, what is it that I can realistically do? Let me go ahead and give you a key. Let me go ahead and speak to this. Okay. What happens a lot of times is you have these goals and you feel like if I don't go against the ecology of my lifestyle, I won't be able to do it. But let me tell you how this works on an energetic level. And I'm going to share this with you. It's really, really simple. It's really, really simple. I'm going to show you how this works on an energetic level. You may desire an hour a day to meditate and an hour and a half each day to work out. Okay? You may desire that. But the current ecology of your lifestyle only allows right now, right? Because this is, we're talking about right now, only allows for, let's say, maybe 15 minutes of meditation in the morning and maybe 20 to 30 minutes of working out in the afternoon. Okay? Let's say that. If you are faithful over the few, you can be made the ruler over many. If you are faithful over the few, you can be made the ruler over many. What does this mean? What this means is on an energetic level, if the current ecology of your lifestyle only allows for you to do 15 minutes of this activity and 20 minutes of that activity, if you are faithful over those 15 minutes and you are faithful over those 20 minutes and you sustain this faith over an extended period of time, what will begin to happen is you will see that that 15 minutes of meditation that you had will start to open up, and then all of a sudden you'll have 17 minutes. Something will move around in your schedule. And then you'll have 17 minutes. And then you're faithful over those 17 minutes. And then you'll have 23 minutes. Because somebody will quit a position at your job, or something else will open up, or some other mom will come in and decide that she wants to support you and help you in taking on some of that responsibility. So now you have half the load as a football mom that you used to have. And that and breaking that in half open up an additional 10 minutes. So now you have 30 minutes. And what happens is when you are faithful over the time that you have, over an extended period of time, and you continue to move and breathe and live and flow in that faithfulness, then more time will begin to open up for you until you reach the time frame for those activities that you desire. So you must be willing to be realistic about the ecology of your lifestyle. And for many of you, the reason why you don't want to be realistic about the ecology of your lifestyle is because once you come up with these new goals and you decide you want to make these new decisions, then you start judging yourself for the lifestyle that you created. And so now you're looking at yourself and you're operating from a place of self-judgment, and where there is judgment, there can't be true, real, pristine love. Unconditional love cannot live in the same space as judgment. And so instead of being realistic about your lifestyle, you try to force these things, right? Ego. You try to force these things and then you burn out. You go on a crash diet. Did you know that your body maintains a physiological record, a memory of every single diet you have ever been on in your life. Did you know that your body was that dynamic? See, a lot of times you hear personal trainers talk about muscle memory, but you don't hear many of them and nutritionists or other wellness professionals talking about diet memory. Your body maintains a record of every single time you have ever dieted. And so what happens is, okay, let me back up. I was not even planning on doing this, but I'm going to do this. And if you think this is deep, I'm telling you, if you are not in curves, you need to get in curves. I've got about 11 more spaces. I think the last time I checked, I had 11 more spaces left at the early bird rate. The early bird rate is $249 for 6 weeks of movement and nourishment coaching with me. I'm going to tell you why that's a steal. That's a steal because my in-person clients, it's $4,000 to work with me for a 4-month period, and I don't do a payment plan. So $249 for 6 weeks of online coaching with me is a steal. So if you want to check that program out, go to www.themermaidswisdom.com/curves, and you can see all about it. So let me go ahead and back up. Okay. The primary function or the primary task that your physiological body is concerned with is maintaining optimal functioning of your brain. Okay? Your brain, the functioning of your brain takes up a vast majority of the resources that your body uses, that your body employs. Okay. And so because of that, your physiological body, your physiology does not care about your body goals because its primary function is to maintain the optimal function of your brain. That's the reason why when you go on really, really restrictive diets, that's one of the reasons why you don't really have a lot of energy. Because what happens is your body, in not all the time, but depending on how you approach this, your body will say the functionality of our brain is at risk. So what we're going to do is we are going to pull the resources from all of the other activities that you are doing, and we're going to funnel them into making sure that your brain is still functioning optimally. This is how the body works. The primary function of your physiology is to maintain optimal functioning of your brain. So again, Instagram, I'm about to lose y'all. Sorry. Follow me on Facebook if y'all get cut off. The primary function, your body's primary concern is the optimal functioning of your brain, not whether or not you want to be 12% body fat. Your body doesn't care a lot about that. From a bare bones physiological perspective, your body doesn't give a damn about the fact that you want a 24-inch waist. Sorry, sis. And so when you crash diet and your body is under that kind of stress, what happens is your body, oh my God, the body is just such a beautiful, magnificent. Thank you. Alhamdulillah. Thank you. The body is such a beautiful, magnificent thing that when you put your body under that kind of stress, your body makes a record of it so that the next time you go back and do that, okay, your body now has the tools to override this diet that you've put yourself on in order to maintain optimal function of your brain. This is the reason why if you've ever done one diet and it worked and you go back to do it a second time and it doesn't work, that's the reason why. So every time you have stressed your body out with a diet, your body makes a record of that. And the body says, we don't want to go through this again. And we're not going to go through this again. So the next time she does this, we are going to override this to maintain optimal function of her brain. And that is the reason why many of you have had to go from diet to diet to diet to diet. You'll do keto and keto will work. And then the next time you do it, it won't. You'll do the Whole30 and the Whole30 will work. And then the next time you do it, it won't. You'll try intermittent fasting and it'll work. And the next time you do it, it won't. You'll go on the Daniel fast and it'll be great. You'll lose 45 pounds. And the next time you do the Daniel fast, you'll only lose 5 pounds. It is because your body keeps this record. It is imprinted in your physiological memory. And so when you go against the ecology of your current lifestyle and you try to force yourself into these pockets, into these buckets, into these diets, into this, I'm going to do 2 a days. I'm going to work out 3 times a day. And how do I know this? Because I have been there. I have been there. I have coached women through this. I have coached women after this. So when you try to force yourself into these pockets, your body is creating these records. And then every time you try to do something, the next time it's harder for you. So you really want to ask yourself, what is it that I am able to do? And then once you have asked those 4 questions, once you have done those 4 things, you've set the proper intention. You have determined your body type and you've studied it. Now let me go back to that really quickly. The determining your body type. How are you going to do this? You're either going to look it up yourself and study it, or you're going to hire somebody to do it for you. And I bring this up because this is going to move us into number 5. Once you've set your proper intention, you have determined your body type and just kind of how you need to flow, ebb and flow in that body for that function. You've asked yourself, what am I willing to do? You've asked yourself, what am I able to do? Now you're going to go into number 5, which is how am I willing to shift my resources to match what it is that I am willing, I am able to do to meet this goal. How am I willing to shift my resources? I cannot tell you how many times I get inboxed. Well, actually, let me take that back because that doesn't really happen anymore. It used to happen a lot. I used to get inboxes all the time from women about changing their bodies and this and this and this, but they don't want to spend no money. Oh, I want to do this, and this. Okay, well, here's the program. Here's how you do it. Oh, I thought you could just give me some tips. Girl, baby, if you don't hightail it and twist your little old hips on up out of my inbox. It's so funny to me. It's so funny to me because you look at these women And you say you want what they have, but then you're not willing to do what they do to get what it is that they have. And then because you're not willing to do what they do to get what it is that they have, then you'll go back to social media and you'll say things like, well, I mean, if I had a chef, my body would look like that too. I mean, if I could spend $1,000 an hour to have a personal trainer come live in my house, I would look like that too. I mean, if I made, it's not about whether or not they want to do it. It's about money. It's about access. And you'll tell that story, right? And you'll feed into that poverty mentality because the real reason is that you're not willing to do what they do to get what it is that they have. So when I ask this question, am I willing to shift my resources to match what I'm willing to do and what I'm able to do and what it is that I say that I want? I am talking about time, energy, and money. Time, energy, which is physical, psychological, emotional, and spiritual, and sexual if you're nasty like that. I am. But that's a whole other conversation. And money. Because here's how it works with these things. You're going to need to make the energetic investment. And so you will either spend the time or you will spend the money. And in most situations, it is a combination of both. And I'm going to tell you right now that if you watched the Super Bowl halftime show with the gorgeous Jennifer Lopez and the gorgeous and amazingly talented Shakira, and you were not willing to spend money, go into your pockets, pull out your card, and spend money, you're not inspired to actually do something. You're only inspired to keep lying to yourself about doing something. Yeah, I said it. I said that. Oh, sis, I want to do this, and this. Are you willing to wake up 30 minutes earlier? Are you willing to shift some things around in your schedule? Are you willing to shift some things with regard to how you manage your energy or how you utilize your energy throughout the day? Are you willing to cut an hour off of your Netflix binging and put that towards your body meditations, your movements, your nourishment? Are you willing to do that? Are you willing to shift your resources? Do you need to hire a coach? Do you need to sign up for a program? Curves, www.themermaidswisdom.com/curves. Get on it. Do you need to hire a chef? Do you need to pay for grocery delivery? Do you need to pay for meal delivery? Do you need to purchase a membership? Do you need to take maybe an extra hour putting together your own meals? What are you willing to do? Are you willing to shift your resources, your time, your energy, and your money to match what it is that you say that you want? Because if you're not willing to shift your resources, then nothing else matters. If you're not willing to shift your resources, you're not willing to move forward. And it's not a judgment. There's no judgment. I'm not judging you. I'm not saying, oh, well, you suck because you don't want to spend money, or you suck because you don't want to shift your time, or you suck because you don't want to, take time off or whatever. Do what it is that you desire to do. You are a beautiful and amazing and autonomous being who is here in this time and space reality where you have free will to make whatever choices you deem necessary for yourself. Understand that with that free will, when when you exercise that free will, you are also saying that you are willing to accept and receive the consequences of the actions that you do or do not take within that free will. Let's let you sit with that for a little bit. Now, I have given you a lot. Listen, I had 5 points on my paper. That was it. That's all I was supposed to do. I was supposed to come in here, do my little housekeeping spill, drop these 5 little points. And, I had originally thought that this live was only going to be like 10, 15 minutes, but evidently Spirit saw otherwise because we are still here. So I have given you a lot. Was this helpful? Was this valuable? Show me some comments. Let me know. Let me know in the comments. Was this helpful? Was this valuable? Did you find value in this? Does what you learned tonight support you in any way? Let me see. Show it to me in the comments. Throw up some hearts. I know sometimes with, especially with Facebook, there's a delay when you all post comments. Keisha says, can't wait to begin curves and start thinking about my time and energy resources. Yes, yes. Thank you, Keisha. Thank you, Destiny. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, thank you, Brenda. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And so this is, this is actually just a little bit. This is actually just a little bit. I am going to go into I go into this, not even just this, but especially with regard to the body types and understanding that and how you approach your sleep, your restoration, stress management, emotional management based on you. Literally, I'm going to show you how you can look at yourself in the mirror, take a picture of your body and know exactly how you're supposed to approach sleep and restoration. And it's going to be absolutely amazing. And so if you are not in Curves, if you have not signed up for Curves, I want you right now to go to www.themermaidswisdom.com/curves. Take a look at that. And here's what I want to say with regard to that, right? Because I'm only working with those who are willing to do this. And so when you go to that website, I want you to go to the website, look at the page, feel into the energy of the offering. So don't just read what it is that I have there. Don't just read the landing page, because it's not just a landing page. I want you to feel into the energy of the offering. And if that offering calls to you in any way, okay, the potency PD of your message goes beyond the body. For me, I see where it can help me in my daily practices. Absolutely, Crystal. And so the beautiful thing about Curves is that Curves is also it's an energetically focused program. It's a chakra. Oh, okay. It's a chakra-based program. And so each week I am going to be walking you through how to connect with your body through using your chakras as an access point. And so there's movement, there's meditation, there's so much there. It is such a beautiful, beautiful program. And so this is one thing I can tell you. This is one thing I can tell you. And this is something that I know with 100% certainty. There is no doubt in my mind about what I'm about to say. If you give me 4 weeks, I can change your body. If you give me 6 weeks, I can change your body and the way you begin to look at your relationship with food. You give me 12 weeks, we can totally transform how you see your body, how you see your food. And if you give me a year, it's wraps. You'll never be the same. Now, I don't have any 12-week or, whose phone is that? It's my daughter. Princess! Is that your phone, Princess? Or is that Daddy's iPad? I don't have any 12-week or 1-year programs available right now. But Curves, this 6-week program, I'm telling you right now, if you're not in it, you need to go and get it. Is that Daddy's iPad or is that your phone?
My phone's in my room. Dad's iPad.
Oh, okay. Okay. You need to get into it right now. www.themermaidswisdom.com/curves. I still have 11 more spaces available at the early bird rate of $249. Once those 11 spaces are filled, then the price is actually going to go to $499, which is still an absolute value because you're getting literally over $2,000 worth of valuable coaching and resources from me. But the price will double. Actually, it's a little bit more than double, I guess. I don't know. After those 11 spaces are filled. So right now, early bird is $249, www.themermaidswisdom.com/curves. If this supported you in any way, please like and please share this video. I greatly, 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 greatly appreciate all of you beloved, beautiful beings who joined me this evening. Thank you so much for those who stayed from the beginning all the way to the end. If you missed the beginning, please watch the replay. It's definitely going to serve you in some amazing ways. I thank you for your time and for your attention. I thank you for your time, your attention, your likes, your questions, your loves, and your shares. Okay? So I am out of here for this evening. I love you, love you, love you so much. And I wish you all of the joy and the peace and the passion and the pleasure and the ease and the flow that you can receive into your own life experience. I love you. Bye.